Hey there everyone. For a while now, gaming journalism has been under a lot of scrutiny. And before you reach for that dislike button or close the window, no, this is not about Gamergate. Recently, a journalist named Dan Takahashi from VentureBeat had a chance to play about half an hour of the upcoming game Cuphead, a run-and-gun platformer set to release late September of 2017. The 26-minute video that I'll link in the description feels more like 26 hours though, as he appears to struggle with even the most basic of platforming gaming functions, such as jumping, moving forward, and not getting hit and dying. It's no surprise then that the gaming community has taken issue with this, and justifiably so in my opinion. But should all of gaming journalism as a whole be catching heat for this, if any at all? Well, before anything else, I think it's important that I explain what I view gaming journalism to be. Like any kind of journalism, there are various forms of reporting. Some aspects include simply receiving news and relaying it to the public, but often opinion-based reviews, critiques, and editorials are lumped in as part of that system, which in one specific way is incorrect. Most reporters in major news outlets are expected to report the news in an unbiased manner. Once opinions begin to appear in that reporting, most viewers will agree that the sense of honest reporting is starting to give way to the feelings of the newscaster. Gaming news reporting is unique in that often people expect their reporter to show some kind of opinion one way or the other. Personally, I prefer to keep reviews and editorials away from the news side of things, but I know that's probably an uncommon idea. With that being said, we can now answer my question, which is no, all of gaming journalism should not be under attack for the issue brought up by Takahashi's, let's say, unsuccessful attempts at Cuphead. What should we expect from gaming journalists as far as gaming ability is concerned? When you watch the 6 o'clock news, the newscasters will discuss a wide range of topics, including current events, sports, weather, and so on. It would be unreasonable to think that they should be experts on every one of these topics. After all, they're simply reading to us what was handed to them. You'll notice though that when it's time for in-depth news on specific topics, they'll hand the broadcast over to someone more trained and experienced. Weather reporters used to just be other reporters, but now they're well-schooled meteorologists. Sports reporters not only hold degrees in sports journalism, but spend years and even decades involved with the industry up close. Because of that, we see them as qualified to give in-depth analysis on the goings-on in those fields. This mirrors the distinction I mentioned earlier in the gaming world. Websites and channels dedicated to relaying gaming news to the public can easily get by with hiring reporters whose job it is to just give us that news, despite a severe lack of gaming ability. However, it's irresponsible and unethical to hand those same people a controller and demand an honest critique on the quality of those games that they report on. They say never trust a skinny chef, and while that may be a very broad and unfair assessment of chefs, the point it makes is valid. The opinions of someone on a topic they appear to know very little about should only be taken at face value. Which brings me to Dean Takahashi, the man behind the controller. According to his VentureBeat profile, he's been a tech journalist for 25 years and covered games for 18. He's also authored 2 books, one relating to the Xbox, the other to the Xbox 360. Nothing about that indicates to me that he should be an expert or anything more than a beginner at playing video games. Some have said that he's claimed otherwise, but I didn't find any hard evidence of that, though I'd be more than happy to see if it does exist. Because of that, I can't agree with people giving him a hard time over this, let's just say it, embarrassing playtime with Cuphead. In truth though, VentureBeat themselves are the ones that demanded a review from someone clearly unqualified to give one, and so they should be the ones under fire. And to be clear, nothing like death threats, just angry tweets will do. Any employer would expect you to provide some kind of credentials before hiring you for a specific job, and reviewing and critiquing games should be no different. Right about now you're probably thinking, wait, you honestly think that before hiring people should be expected to prove they can play games well with some kind of tests? And to that I say, yes, absolutely. It doesn't have to be some grueling gauntlet of the toughest game challenges out there, but seriously, the guy couldn't even jump and dash. Asking him to play one level of Mega Man X would have indicated a serious lack of gaming ability. If you applied for a job handling money, you'd be expected to take a math test. Why is this so different? Readers and viewers, and especially creators of these games, are counting on reviewers to give accurate descriptions of what to expect when buying and playing them. And in order for that to happen, reviewers need to be able to actually play these games. Gaming journalism may seem like a bunch of people just playing video games and telling other people what they think, but it's a bit more important than that. In addition to online streaming and Let's Plays, We, the consumer, rely on those reviews to help us make informed choices about where we spend our money, which is important in the multi-billion-dollar industry. The more we question the credibility of the people reporting that information to us, the less likely we will be to shop based on that information. The danger there is that as more and more gamers spend their money on what they consider to be bad games thanks to misinformation online, they may reach a point where the risk just isn't worth it. If that starts to happen, the industry suffers, and that hurts everyone, gamers and journalists alike. I love gaming, and I really don't want that to happen, so I hope the gaming media outlets start to screen their reviewers in some way that helps ensure quality control. Until then, though, I'll just accept that depending on who I'm watching or reading, whatever I see, I'm seeing through the eyes of a random person whose talents in gaming may be just as random. That means that their final word will be theirs alone, and while I want to hear it, it means much less to me than if it came from someone I feel is more qualified to know a good game from a bad one. I'd like to thank you all for listening to my thoughts on gaming journalism and what we should expect from it. Let me know what you think about this subject and also about the infamous Cuphead video. As always, thank you guys for listening, have a great night, and happy gaming.